Today we are going to learn the elements of drama. As you know that there are various literary forms or genres like poetry, prose, story. So one form of literature is drama, or we can call it or we can say it's quite famous genre. And you will find that there are various research on the elements of drama, and in every competitive exams also you will find questions on the elements of drama. So today we are going to learn the elements of drama. So first of all, we need to know what is drama. Drama is an ancient Greek word which means act or deed. Aristotle, a well known philosopher, used this term drama in his book Poetics. According to Aristotle, drama is a poetic composition, whether in form of comedy or tragedy, that were acted in front of audiences in a theater. Now, this is the definition of drama. For any drama, the soul of any drama is the plot or the script. These are in this figure you will find the components of plot. The first one is the setting, exposition or introduction. We can call it a setting or exposition or introduction. In this part, the writer introduces the character and the setting. He gives the description and background of the story in the part of exposition. Then comes the complication. In this part, there is some inciting incident that begins the conflict, or the major source of conflict happens because of some inciting incident. Conflict arises in this complication. Then comes the rising action. In this rising action you will find that the story gets more exciting, and this part builds the story out of the conflict in the complication part. Then comes climax. As you know that all we know about climax, whether we are literary or not, we all know about climax. It is the highest moment of tension. In this part there is the greatest tension, and it's quite exciting part also. Then comes falling action. In falling, what happens in the climax, or we can say that the consequences of climax, because of the consequences, because of the climax, we came to know that soon the story will end. Then resolution. In this part we try to solve the problems, or the character solves the problem or conflict, or by someone else the conflict is solved. Then comes the denouement. It's a French word which means the action of untying, means whatever is left in resolution, whatever problem is left which is not answered in the resolution. Here in denouement, whether the characters or the author tries to answer or resolve that problem, and sometimes it also happens that the author leaves us to think about theme or future possibilities for the characters. It happens that there are so many movies which are open ending, let the readers or the audience to think over the theme. These are the literary elements of any drama, that is plot, character, thought, diction, music and spectacle. As we all know, the plot is the soul of drama. So plot is, what is plot? It's a systematic and well organized imitation of man in action. Here we imitate the man in action, both internal and external. Action may be internal, what is going in your mind, and external, that is external. So it takes the audience on a journey. This plot takes the audience on a journey and keep them engaged. We go to the malls to watch the movie, and we remain there for 3 hours without any kind of tiredness. Why? Because the plot engaged us there. It can be categorized as simple or complex. The story may be simple. In simple there is no conflict and it runs smoothly, but in complex plot you will find there so many conflicts are there. So in any plot, a good plot have a beginning, a middle and end. Then comes the character. Characters represent the action and enhance the plot. Or we can say that the script is sailed by the characters. The story is sailed by the characters. Types of character, there are so many types of character you will find in drama or other. The first one is protagonist, and we can call the main character or hero or heroine. So most of the action centers around the protagonist. Then its opposite is antagonist, which is a source of conflict, we can say. It's the antagonist is the source of conflict in the drama, and it's generally we call it evil, or it's anti-hero. Then comes our flat and round characters. So round characters are the dynamic characters or the fully developed character. In any story, the writer gives some characters full space so that they can be developed. But on the other hand, flat characters are opposite to the round characters. These are boring characters or unrealistic characters. Then we have dynamic characters. Dynamic characters are the characters who changes over the course of the story. This change may be bad or this may be good. Generally it's good. So dynamic characters changes over the course of the story. Maybe they are in beginning they are not that much good, but at last they become quite good, or sometimes they also gain some bad habits. So these are the dynamic characters. Then static characters, they don't change. Static characters don't change, and we use these static characters simply to relieve the tension in the story. These are the static characters. Then there are some minor characters also, like stock characters. Stock characters are the characters which are the familiar figures that appear in the story time after time, and these are the stereotypical characters. Then we have foil. Foil characters are generally the characters whose personality clash with hero, but they are not antagonist, primary antagonist. They are not primarily antagonist, because you will see, you have experience of watching movies, that there are some characters who out of some misunderstanding or some other reasons, they have some clash with the hero in the beginning, but later they become good friends. So they are not antagonist, but there is a clash in personality with hero. Then we have archetypes. Archetypes, as you know the meaning of archetypes. So these are the symbols and situations that we see over and over again in dramatic works. We find these archetypes are there. Then we have the third aspect, that is thought, or we can call it a theme or idea. It's this thought is quite elusive, because sometimes the theme is explicit, sometimes it's not explicit, that we find in a very title, or some of the characters tell us about the thought. But sometimes when it is not explicit, the theme is less obvious and emerges only after some study or thought. The abstract issues and feelings that grow out of the dramatic action. In this way, thought is the faculty of saying what is appropriate to a given circumstances or situation. Then we have diction, which is also a most important part of any drama. It's a language part. Diction is a primary mode of imitating the action. that how we can perform. We have the plot, we have the characters, we have the idea, but now we need to represent it, we need to give voice it. So that voice is given through a diction. It should be embellished with each kind of artistic element. It happens through dialogues. It may be in form of monologues, soliloquies, and aside. Here we need to know about these three terms. Soliloquy, it is a longer speech which reveals inner thoughts or motives of a character, not heard by anyone on the stage. That is going on in the mind of the character, or he is doing self talking, we can call. Then we have dramatic monologue. It's a kind of long lyric which is generally reveals previous events and explains a character's choice of action. It can be heard by others on stage what is said and respond to it. So in dramatic monologue is found in the poems of Robert Browning. You can find the dramatic monologues where the character is revealing his previous events or actions, and others also find that this is a conversation between two. Aside, it's a shorter comment by a character on the action of the play, and generally it reveals judgments or hidden secrets which no others can hear on stage. But it's not soliloquy because it's a shorter comment. The soliloquy is a longer one. Then we have music, or we can call melody. Music is the spice of drama. It adds spice to the drama. It narrates major events that are not shown on the stage. The musical notes and songs can be used to push the plot forward. Sometimes if there is nothing to represent, or so we play music, so it gives a kind of forward to the plot, and to move the story to a higher level of intensity. Characters, passions, fears, desires can be effectively conveyed to the audience through lyrics and music. Then we have the last element, that is spectacle. Spectacle is the theatrical effect presented on the stage. Means we have all the recite, and now it's a time to serve. So how we represent, how we serve the recipe of drama, it means sets, costumes, light. In fact, spectacle is everything that the audience sees as they watch the play. It also includes scenes of physical torture, loud lamentations, dances, lights, makeup, colorful garments of the characters, and the appearance of jokers, subordinate characters, full on the stage. And generally we talk about whenever we are coming out of the theater, so we are talking about the costumes, we are talking about the music, we are talking about the dance, we are talking about the lights, makeup. We because these things have a great impact, or these things are there to spellbound the audience. Thanks a lot.